Hello, my name is Myles McDougall. I am the UCP MLA for the constituency of Calgary-Fish Creek. Well, I've always been interested in public policy and how government works. I had interest in my undergraduate degree. I did a double major in economics and political science, kind of with that interest in mind. And since then, I have been involved in my career in many instances as an analyst, economic analyst, political analyst for many years, and then as a business person. And at this point in my life, I thought that this would be a good opportunity to get actually involved as a politician myself and see if I could have some influence on things. I think the party more closely aligns with my personal ideological orientation. I began to get interested in politics when I was an undergrad student at the university, and at that time, Peter Lougheed was Premier of Alberta, and there was federal government was run by Pierre Elliott Trudeau, and those policies were of Mr. Trudeau were, what I believe was against the best interests of Alberta, and I admired the positioning and the policies of Mr. Lougheed, who was a progressive conservative. I consider myself more of a classic liberal. I believe strongly in things like freedom, fiscal responsibility, that the private sector should be the main driver of economic development and prosperity, and that the government's role should be limited, and that it should be there to support the freedom and aspirations of the business community, individuals, rather than imposing itself on people's lives. Well, I think it changes depending on the MLA in terms of how much attention they put on different things. But first and foremost, you're a representative of the people within your constituency. So you have a role there to be listening to them and understanding what their perspectives are. And in many cases, explaining the other way to why government policy is what it is, or what the intentions are and how it works. We have many responsibilities. We have to sit in the House of the Legislature when we're in session and debate and speak on bills and motions, ask questions of ministers. We spend a lot of time on committees. Every MLA is allocated a certain number of committees that they work on, and so they try to connect those committees where you have an interest. So there's several committees there that you work on. And then you, as a representative out for the community, so you go to a lot of community events, even outside your constituency. In my case, as a representative of the governing party, again, it's about listening to what people are saying and sometimes explaining what the rationale is for certain government policies. So that's that, and driving back and forth between Calgary and Edmonton. Well, it's a people-oriented business, so I like people. I think you should definitely, to be successful in this, you need to be somebody who likes to be people, interacting with people. I like the fact that you get to help, solve problems, mostly related to your constituents, or sometimes other interests that you could be a conduit and direct them to the right ministry or minister. So it's helping things get done, helping people with the issues, and having some influence on public policy and how the government manages. So you're just one of many MLAs within your caucus, but if you are able to earn the respect of your colleagues and you can provide some input that is viewed as being valuable, you can have some influence on policy. Personally, I prefer to be less time away from home in Edmonton. I mean, Edmonton's a great city, and there is important work that takes place here, but we spend about 5 months of the year, more or less, Sunday to Thursday in Edmonton, and so you're away from home and family quite a bit. And personally, I wish it was a little less. I guess I would have to say the swearing-in ceremony as an MLA. I had family in the audience, of course, and it was a proud moment. Not everybody gets a chance to be sworn in as a member of the Legislative Assembly, and I think very warmly on that moment. I think it would like to be that I was a reasonable, intelligent, thoughtful person who contributed to public policy, and that I would be respected for the quality of my thinking and my ideas on this regard. Well, if I could, but that's difficult. So it's federal. The one that I would eliminate if we could is the laws and regulations related to things that handcuff our natural resource industries. So I have difficulty with some of the issues related to submission caps and Bill C-69 that puts limitations on infrastructure projects. So if I could get rid of those, that would be, I think, the biggest single thing that we could do to the prosperity of this province. Try to spend some time beforehand to make sure that you have some relevant real-world experience that you can bring to the table to offer. You know, that you have some insight. There's a lot of different people around the tables or around the room when you're making discussions, and if you have some good solid knowledge and background in relevant issues, that I think makes you a more useful and productive member of the Legislative Assembly. 10-year vision is to be able to a degree, change the direction of orientation, particularly as it relates to economic development. We have a productivity problem here in Canada and in the province, and having lived overseas in many so-called emerging market countries in my life, I've seen that poor policy, especially economic development, means that you don't get to have the social programs that we all value. So just be able to establish a mechanism where the direction and the environment is conducive to further economic growth and prosperity, and a lot less division within our society, within our communities, that we kind of stop the vilification of the people who have different ideas, be a little bit more open, and try to find a bridge that where we can meet for common purpose.